We have a huge announcement for you folks. Our next chapter of our lives begin. At least the planning stages of it. Those of you who follow us, who have been following us for a while, you know about our journey from Ohio to Florida. That was a chapter in itself. We all have different chapters in our lives. First one for me was growing up, of course, and then it was moving out on my own. And I always loved travel, moving around. When I was a kid, I was a competitive dance skater, roller skater. So we would travel for competitions around the country. So that was a lot of fun. And I also played the violin, so sometimes the concerts would take us to different places. We have family in Spain, so we traveled there to visit a few times. I always had this love of travel and adventure, always looking for something new. So when I moved out at 18, that was a very exciting thing, especially for me who was super shy. For me to have done that, that was a big deal. I moved over a dozen times in a few years because I just loved being in new places. Even though it was all in Ohio, I liked starting fresh, getting rid of stuff, packing what I needed, going into a new apartment. You know, everything's clean and new and going in there. So it was like starting over and over, and I liked it. I know not everybody is into that. I'm always looking for some kind of adventure. And of course, Rick and I got married 22 years next month. We decided at that point we felt like settling down, and we bought 10 acres out in the country, had our kids, enjoying the country life. It was a different way of living. I learned a lot living out there. So while living there in those 10 years, we acquired a lot of things. And that's when this all started, with this wanting to downsize. It was about 3 years before the economic crash happened. And I always follow the news pretty closely. So I had this feeling, not to mention, I was aware of what was happening. Felt like, we better downsize just in case. And at that time when I first started getting rid of things, and I have a video, maybe it'll have more information than what I'm giving you here. I'm just trying to catch you up here. So the video is called It Started with the Junk Drawer. So watch that video. It'll tell you a little bit more how it all happened. We downsized, and like I said, I'm glad that we did. I started 3 years before we actually made the move. But when I started getting rid of things, I had no plan of moving. I was going to die on those 10 acres. So after I started downsizing, seeing where the economy was going, I knew that we were going to be starting over somewhere, and somewhere was Florida. But at the time, I didn't know. I had this notebook, and I was writing my notes, and like, should I go to the Carolinas? Should I go out west? So I was doing the pros and cons. I always do pros and cons in my notebook and write down all the questions I have and do research. I like research the heck out of things when I'm wanting to learn or to know what I should do, just how I am. It just makes me feel better writing it out, writing it down. And now with YouTube, I could share with you. That makes me even feel even better. So I hope you don't mind me sharing all this with you. I suppose you don't mind if you're watching. So thanks for listening. So I'm at the beginning of researching our next chapter in our lives, and that starts with this notebook. And what is this that I'm talking about? Willow finishes, that's her daughter. She finishes college. She'll get her BA in 3 years from now. And after that, she'll get her master's and doctorates. That's her plan. Noah will be done with homeschooling before then. So we've made a decision. That's when we're going to take this journey following our dreams and being free in this world to do what we want. We're doing what we want now, but we see that we're going to want to do something a little different soon. So I want to start planning now. I don't want to be irresponsible. We're getting older, so we have to be a little careful of what we do, because soon after that we'll be older and maybe we can't travel, and finances is always an issue for everyone. I don't care if you're rich or poor, it's always something you really have to think about. So what we want to do in 3 years is sell everything off, and I'm actually starting right now. I told the kids, let's go through our house, see what we got, what we don't need, let's sell or donate. So we started with the clothes again, going through it. Noah grew most of what he had, so that went to donations. And then we had 2 empty dressers, so we sold the dressers on Craigslist. Then we went through more books, and we got rid of books, and I have to sell books, as you know, on Amazon. We went through all those, and now I have an empty shelf and I actually have that up for sale right now on Craigslist. Really nice shelf. Actually, Rick built it for me. Slowly, we're getting rid of things in our house, but I always will keep family pictures, albums, old letters for my dad, and certain things like that. That's just the paintings my mother did. So those I will always keep. So the plan is to downsize to the point where everything can fit into a pod. They're like a big container, like a shipping container. And we used one when we moved from Ohio to Florida. We moved from a larger home with a full basement and a big workshop into a 1,300 square foot apartment in Sarasota, Florida. We couldn't fit everything in there, so we had to get rid of more things once we got down here. So now that I've done that once before, I know I have a little experience on how much I can actually take with me or how much I should keep. And my experience says don't keep anything except for my pictures and my paintings, my violin. There's a couple of things, that I want to keep. I'm gonna get a smaller pod so whatever fits in there should fit in wherever I decide to go. Now I haven't decided if we're going to be keeping this house and renting it out. We're leaning towards that. It'll be furnished too if we do keep it. We just joined Airbnb. I have a link below in the description box. If you're interested in joining Airbnb, it's free to join. And what it is a place where you can rent your home, furnished home, like you're a host and you rent it to people who travel. You can rent a room out or you can rent the whole house out, and they kind of give you an idea how much in your area your place is worth. And Airbnb collects the money from the people who rent out your home, and it goes into your account. You can get that money to your bank, or you could use it for traveling. So we're leaning towards that. What we want to do is put all our stuff in a pod. Each one of us would have one suitcase with wheels that can roll on, carry on a plane, so we could travel anywhere in this world and not be bogged down. So that pod will be stored wherever I say to store it. So I can come back to this home if we keep the house when we're all done traveling, or I could have it shipped to a new location if we decide we find a place that we prefer to live. You all know how much I love Florida, but I do want to experience different places in the world. Now, vacations are something that most people do. You go on your 2-week vacation or days or longer. But I don't want to do that, especially after taking this last trip to see my mother and back. I feel I can't experience the new locations I want to visit unless I stay there for an extended time, like a year or longer. The way to do it is renting a house or a condo or a boat or whatever it is that you want that's already furnished. And Airbnb, that's what they're all about. A lot of the big YouTubers who are doing a lot of traveling, that's what they use. I really like the whole idea of it. You could search the whole world to see where you could stay for $600 a month or $1,000 a month. You could travel to that location, or you can pick the location you want and then look for the place. So we already have our passports. I already had this kind of in the back of my head that I wanted to do more traveling. The regular traveling that people do, where you go to a hotel, you stay a few days, move on, it's just too much physically for me. I just can't do it. I don't have that type of energy. I travel better when I can stay in a comfortable, where I have my own bedroom and stay in a place for weeks, months, preferably months. And by the way, when you stay at a place for a month or longer, especially on Airbnb, it's a lot cheaper. Our link is below. When people use Airbnb, like say I refer someone to Airbnb, yes, I do get some kind of credit. I really don't know exactly how it works, but it goes towards my future stays, and the same with you. If I think your first day, they give you some type of credit to go towards your first night, and then if you refer people to Airbnb, you will also get money towards your account, which you could use for traveling. So it's really kind of neat, especially if you're a traveler. It's like the thing to do these days, kind of like how Uber is the alternative to taxis. I always like looking at alternative ways to do things. Thank God for the internet and these smartphones and these apps. I mean, it's a different world than what I grew up in. It's just amazing. If it wasn't for the internet, my idea and dreams and thoughts of what we want to do would not be possible, I don't think. Or at least, yeah, I just don't think it'd be possible. At least not for me. I wouldn't even think to do such a thing that we're thinking about. Yeah, I mean, you're probably thinking, well, how in the heck are you going to afford to be traveling the world? That's what we want to do, travel the world, literally. Several places we want to go. Main place to start with is Malaga, Spain, and that's where and you probably already know if you follow us, my mom's father was killed during the Spanish Civil War by Franco. Franco was friends with Hitler, and all I want is just peace out of this, and to find his remains, take him to where the family feels he should be. But besides that, we'd also like to go to Ireland and find maybe possibly Rick's long-lost cousins or, family. Wouldn't that be neat? Even if not, Ireland's a beautiful place that we would like to see, and Costa Rica is definitely on the list of places to see. There's a lot of places, and I would like to spend at least a month at each of these, especially overseas. I think I would like to rent for a month at each of these places. When you stay at a place for a month, you have time to take these road trips. Spend the day out looking at everything and then coming back and having a nice comfortable place to be in. And everybody has their own bedroom. You could cook at home. So it's like being at home, but in another country. Home is where you make it. That's more of the type of travel I think I would do better with. And still the question remains, how will you afford it? As I said, we either rent this place or sell it. Either way, I would not touch the money. We sold the house, that money can't be touched because that's for retirement. I'm not counting on Social Security to keep us afloat. Also, we plan on selling our cars. And again, that money can't be touched because when we get back to the States, when we decide to settle down again, and I'm sure we'll want to settle down for a little while, and maybe only a year, 2 years, however long it takes us to explore that particular area, or until I can't travel anymore. We got to do it now. If we don't do it now, when? But I'm trying to be responsible about it too, so I'm not just, there's nothing wrong with being a little spontaneous in this world. But we are trying to be responsible and trying to plan this out as carefully as we can, but you can't plan every move in your life because things just, happen. I've got this notebook. I'm starting to take notes, and I wanted to start this journey with you so you could see us through the process. I'm sure we're going to have plenty of bumps and glitches on the planning stages alone. We don't have the cars. If we sell off the cars, there won't be upkeep, there won't be gas, there won't be car insurance, there won't be car storage, because we thought about it. I said, well, we could sell the cars, get the one truck that we were thinking about, but then you got storage and insurance. Why am I paying on that if I'm not going to be using it? And who knows how long I'll be gone. That's a great thing. This is like the most free that we could possibly be in this part of the plan. Now hopefully the kids will want to come with us. They're going to be a little older. Will be like 20. Noah will be 18. And they may decide to go off on their own. But either way, Rick and I are ready for this next stage. If the kids want to come, that's awesome. I hope they do. And if they don't, then, they can, whatever their plans are, I'll support them. But the trick is to get rid of almost everything. Store away what we want to keep for future. The less the better. Have only one suitcase each and probably, like a messenger bag or whatever to carry our laptops with us, because we're going to need our cameras and we're going to need our laptops. But as far as clothing, we don't need a whole lot. And if we need more, we buy whatever we need on our journeys. Because we'll be traveling by plane, train, automobile, taxi, Uber, and when we want, we could always rent a car. We don't want to be lugging around things and bumping in and just, it's very stressful when you have bunch of bags, and with my bad back, I need something with wheels and one thing, and that's it. Now the trick will be the dogs. That's already in my notebook as a potential issue. Cookie is 11 and a half years old, so we'll see how he's doing. That could throw a little glitch in our plans that may change our plans around as far as going overseas. We may end up traveling just in the country if I find that his Cookie just can't go with anybody else. I don't think he would survive. Poor guy, he's just real attached to me. Marvel, he could spend time with, I have family and I have a friend who, they're like, he's like part their dog too. So I were to be gone for a month at a time, he would be just fine. If I was gone longer than that, I'm not sure if we would fly back for a little bit or what we do, because he's a large dog, and maybe I could figure a way to have him travel with us. It probably depends on the country, what they will allow as far as bringing your dog. I know a lot of people travel with their dogs, so maybe some of you who've traveled overseas know more. I'm just in beginning stages of trying to figure out how to travel with their dogs, especially on the plane and overseas. Cookie, I think, can go under the seat in front because he's small. Marvel, unfortunately, would have to go under the plane. That's a whole thing I have to consider and think about, because they're like my babies. I love them. I have to do what's best for them. It's something we have to work on. And again, you're probably still asking, how are you going to afford this? How can you pay? You need to work. Right now I work online, and Rick has a business here in Florida. Do all our businesses completely 100% online. As a matter of fact, it's probably the only way that I can think of to be able to make this plan work. For example, you know, in the description box I have all my links there to my Avon business, jewelry and candle business, my Amazon affiliate store. I sell books on Amazon, so I have another link for that for my Amazon store, just regular bookstore. And I get referrals and credits for like Airbnb or Uber, or you know, different things like that. So I'm gonna have to step up the game a little bit. Every time someone shares a video, that helps us. Every time someone watches an ad or clicks on an ad, that helps us. Every time somebody makes an Avon purchase or even shares a product, that helps us. When someone shops on Amazon, everybody shops on Amazon, so I appreciate those of you who have already shopped on my Amazon affiliate link. Thank you so much. That all helps us. I really, and you know, I didn't start this YouTube channel to make money or to make a business out of it, but we actually started, for those of you who, again, are new to this channel or don't follow us or haven't followed us in the past, we started this channel just so we could learn how to use the smartphone to video record our kids, because we didn't get to do it when they were little. We have pictures, so we were thinking, you know, we better learn how to do this and record the kids while they're still here with us before they take off and start their own adventures without us. So we started doing that. And oh my gosh, we're having so much fun, and we met so many nice people. You folks are just like the nicest group. I know I watch other videos, other channels, and some of them don't have very nice subscribers. They're kind of mean. So I'm like, I got the nicest subscribers out there. And those of you with channels, you also have some really nice subscribers. I think we hang out with the same nice people or something, because I really like that. Very supportive. Everybody's real supportive of each other's dreams, and I like that. We don't have to agree on what's the way to live or how you should do it or how you should retire or how you should raise your kids. We don't have to agree upon that, but we're still there for each other. We're still supporting each other, supporting each other's dreams. If you have a channel, I try to watch your videos when I can, so I'm sorry if I can't watch every video or share every video. It's just I only have so much time in a day. Family and our business here in Florida, the boat business, and homeschooling and taking my daughter to college, and it's just very, very busy. And then of course, making my own videos and trying to edit and to get them on YouTube for you. I try to do the videos on a daily basis. I was not able to do it while we were traveling because the internet was horrible. So that's something I got to write that in my notebook. I will write that in the notebook. Internet problems. So those of you who travel, especially around the world, internet. That's something that I would love for you to help me out. I'm going to need your help, all of you folks. I need you to give me some tips and ideas if you're a traveler, and especially if you travel overseas, or if you travel the way I'm thinking of traveling. You know, using Airbnb, staying at places for a longer time. These places are furnished, utilities are included, so I won't have any utility. I won't have any bills. So that's how I'll be able to do it. As long as we can work completely online and make enough to pay for the Airbnb, pay for the transportation, trains, planes, and automobiles, and food, of course. We'll most likely, eat breakfast, lunch at wherever we're staying, and go out to dinner or go out for lunch and eat home for dinner, whatever. Other thing I have in my notebook is a question is health insurance. I have to figure out about the health insurance when traveling overseas and how and what that covers. I have to look into the insurance part, the dogs, and the internet. Those are my top 3 problems besides making enough money to cover all that. Without you folks, this would not be possible. This dream, this idea, without your support and you sharing, our businesses, our links, our stores, all that, and our videos. Without you, it's not possible. I have 3 years to build this channel, to build the businesses. All your help is really appreciated. Of course, your knowledge, everything that you know about this type of travel, I'll take all the tips, just put them below. And you know what? I was thinking, say in 3 years I decide, I don't want to do it. And that's okay for me too. The great thing to know is I've downsized, or I'm trying to downsize enough where if I wanted to, I could say, yes, I got my little suitcase, my little carry-on bag, and I can go because nothing's holding us down. Even if we decide to keep this as a home base and only stay a month here and there. So that's where the further away into the future, the less I know concrete what's happening. I don't know what is going to happen. Right now I'm thinking, oh, it'd be so great, to go to Ireland and Spain and Costa Rica. But in reality, that may not work out that way. I may go to Spain for the month and then come back. I may go to Ireland for a month or 2 or 6 months and come back. I don't know yet. That's the beauty of this plan, is it's very open, but only if I could do this online, because if we're tied down to having to be someplace to work, that kind of changes this total freedom. I just been looking for 100% freedom in a time where it's just not going to be possible. So I want to do it now. There's one place specifically, as of today, it may change later on after I do more research or actually visit and travel. I would really, really like to spend some time on the West Coast. San Diego is one of the places. I want to live like right in downtown. I know that's not for everybody, right in the city, but without the driving. The reason I don't want to live on the outskirts, it is more money in, but I won't need that car. I could take the Amtrak up and down the West Coast. I can take buses, I could take Ubers, I could walk, I could bike. And some of you are like, you're crazy. They don't like the city. I don't like the city if I have to drive. I hate driving with traffic. And if you live just outside the city to save some money, you got the car payments and the insurance and sitting in traffic and the stress. It's not fun anymore for me. We're all different. Like I said, I've already been in the country, loved it, did that, and I may still want to spend a month in Asheville, for example, in the cabins, in the woods somewhere, here and there. But that's the plan, is to just be free to go wherever I want. There's no long-term commitment anywhere, because it's between, you could save yourself between 20 and 50% on the rate, the going rate for that particular home, condo, whatever it is that you were looking to rent. As a host, if say I were to rent out this house on Airbnb, it is my choice what I want to charge. Of course, you got to be competitive or you're not going to rent out the place. How much of a discount you want to give, what your policies are, pet policy, smoking policy, it's all up to you, which is really nice. So it's something to think about. And again, I absolutely love Florida, so I always know that this is a place I do love and that I can stay and come back to. But I have a whole world to see, and it's time to see it. And 3 years gives me plenty of time to downsize, to get rid of things, for the kids to do what they got to do, to move on to their own next chapter, and without the stress of like being in a hurry. I don't like stress. I like things calm, peaceful, relaxing, and enjoyable. And this part is as fun as anything else. Planning the journey, planning the adventure. It's an adventure in itself. It's a lot of fun. I like it. I know not everyone does, but it's one of the things I enjoy doing. I love researching things. And then I meet new people doing this. I talk to you and we go back and forth. Next thing you know, we're best friends. I'm hoping I could meet some of you in the future when there's more time and we're not bogged down by having to do certain things. I never was one to be tied down. I remember growing up and going to school, and I remember thinking, if I ever have kids, they're not going to school. I didn't know about homeschooling or anything like that, but I remember thinking I felt like a prisoner. I liked being free, and it's probably just me that feels this way, but I really like the freedom. I don't think it's just me, because there's a lot of people doing what I'm wanting to do, and I didn't realize it until I joined Instagram and I see all these people traveling and doing exactly what I want to do. Of course, they're 20 years old or 30 years old, most of them. There's some that are my age too. I am so proud of them for starting so young, to not have gotten caught up into that world where they feel tied down. Again, 9 to 5 is, for some people, makes you feel relaxed and calm and gives you satisfaction in your life. So I'm not putting you down in any way. It's just I'm sharing my view of things for me and our family. We all kind of think alike, that maybe that's why we get along. So what do you think about our idea? Do you think it's crazy, globe-trotting around the world? Do you think it's irresponsible? Do you think it's a fun idea? I do. I guess that's all that matters, right? That we're enjoying what we're doing. But I am curious, what do you think? Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you like. Please share, because as I said, sharing our videos, watching our videos helps us grow and helps us towards this new dream that we have, that we're really excited about. I'm just like, it's like one of those things like, you can't do that. That's not responsible. Globe-trotting around the world. Yeah, I can. I'm going to do it. Isn't that crazy? When I put my mind to something, I usually do it. It's like when I moved to Florida. People were like, you can't go there. You're not going to like it. Don't go. You should stay here. It's irresponsible. What if it doesn't work out? Well, what if it does? What if it's the best time of our lives? If I don't try, if we don't try this, we'll go to our graves wondering, what if? I don't want any what ifs. We're going to do it. If we don't like it, what's the worst thing that can happen? We move back, we find a place, or move back to this house or another place, or whatever. That's the worst thing that can happen, right? I mean, really, what else can happen? Fall out of a plane, well, I won't know the difference. If I fall off of a cliff, I won't know the difference. It's time to go live a little bit. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.